What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel Saved by the Code. Hope y'all doing all right out there. Got a lot of interesting stories, exciting stories. As usual, this market just never slows down. It's always delivering the juice, the sauce, whatever you want to call it. All right, let's just get into it. Bitcoin emission intensity, the first story I have for you here. Bitcoin emission intensity hits a new all-time low. And by emission intensity, I am referring to, or this article is referring to, greenhouse gas emissions due to the energy use required to secure the Bitcoin network and also create bitcoins. It's funny how when we refer to multiple Bitcoin, people don't put an S on the end. 47 Bitcoin, not Bitcoins. It's funny. Anyways, yeah. So, and this is because the Bitcoin mining industry is so heavily focused on sustainable energy sources. Other industries are, but not nearly to the degree as the Bitcoin mining industry. It is like at the forefront. And I don't see banks doing this. Do you ever hear about we're focused on, because for some wild reason, nobody ever talks about how much energy banks use. I've never even seen anything ever mentioned about that. It's always Bitcoin is going to burn the earth. We're all going to burn alive because of Bitcoin mining. Nothing else. Everything else is clean, perfect, and wonderful. Bitcoin mining is the scourge of the earth. That's all you hear in mainstream media. And it's just insanely dishonest, intellectually dishonest. It's just a lie. But what else do you expect from mainstream media? The truth? Ha! That's hilarious. That is just too funny. But yeah, I mean, this has to do with how heavily the Bitcoin mining industry is focused on sustainable, renewable energy sources, as well as more efficient mining rigs, more efficient mining computers. And the majority of miners actually use renewable energy. It says here, due to these factors, mining sustainability reached an all-time high of 54%. Mining in crypto considers emissions and precise energy use in creating power for the activity. This sometimes leads to carbon emissions, which only have a lesser impact on coal-powered energy. Yeah, so I mean, the industry is moving towards a high degree of sustainability, whatever you want to call it, renewable energy use. And, it is at the forefront, and you just don't hear about that in the banking sector, which uses ridiculous amounts of energy, by the way. Their big skyscrapers, all their lights, all their computers, all their servers, all that stuff. That's a lot of energy there. But you never hear about that. It's just Bitcoin is using all the energy in the entire universe. And it's going to catch the entire universe on fire. That's all you hear in the mainstream media. And it's just a downright lie. And then there's a lot of other second order effects from this Bitcoin mining energy stuff. I'm not going to sit here and say that it uses lots of energy. It does. However, a lot of it comes from renewable sources. Hydroelectricity, wind power, solar, a lot from hydroelectric. And even down in El Salvador, they are exploring geothermal energy, volcanic energy utilization for Bitcoin mining. El Salvador, if you don't know, has made Bitcoin legal tender. The entire country, legal tender, which means if you're a business, you have to accept it. And people can spend it there and buy things with it, just like the US dollar. And it's just, when that was announced, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And I see more countries following suit. You know, I have a story later on, I believe, about Africa and just how this is happening in a lot of places where their currencies are just decimated, absolutely obliterated. And by obliterated, I literally mean like triple digit inflation. People just locked out of their bank accounts, their savings gone, just gone. This happens elsewhere in the world. You know, we live in the nice cushy US where nobody thinks that will happen here, but it will. This is how a government issued currency works. They do not last. There has never been one single government centrally issued currency, fiat currency is what they're called, that has ever lasted a long period of time. They just mathematically don't work. And so it's inevitable that it will happen in the United States, which I think we're seeing in real time at the moment. The bank collapses, the inflation, the signs are all there. But I digress. Yeah, so I mean, this just continues to increase over time. This graph here just shows how Bitcoin mining emissions intensity is continuing to drop over the years, and the sustainability, how much Bitcoin mining uses renewable energy, is rising and continues to rise and has been rising because it is at the forefront of the mining industry. And you know, another thing about Bitcoin energy use is that they scoop up extra energy that is going to be wasted anyways from flare gas. Flare gas is like those, you see, there's oil where they're getting oil out of the ground or natural gas and they just burn off the excess into the air. Just a flame, just burning. Do you know how much of that, like, if you aggregated that happening around the world, that's tons, a lot of energy. It's just poof, goodbye. And that's profits lost for the energy company, and that's energy wasted. Bitcoin miners are utilizing flare gas, capturing that extra energy, putting it to use, making energy companies happy, making energy costs lower for the end consumer. Because if energy companies are getting paid, they're happy. But that energy just being wasted, that's lost. That's lost dollars. They just want the money. And I mean, as well as just in general, in places where, you know, like in Texas, where it's like, I think a little over a third of their energy comes from renewables. However, renewables are highly unpredictable. One day may be windier than another. One day may be sunnier than another. And, you know, you may have not enough energy or excess energy. But this excess energy just gets wasted if it's not used, if it's not purchased, bought up. Bitcoin miners are buying that extra energy, balancing out the grid. I have that previous episode on that. But this energy grid balancing is helpful, very helpful for the end consumer as well as the end. It's a win-win. I really don't see how, you know, the energy just gets wasted, the energy company doesn't make money, and your energy bill will go up. If the energy's there, it gets bought up and purchased, energy company's happy, Bitcoin miners are happy, the end consumer's happy because their energy bill goes down because the energy company got paid. And then when there is a lack of energy, the thing with Bitcoin mining is that, you know, in places like Texas, you can immediately shut off mining if there's not enough energy in times where high demand, or, you know, if a crazy snowstorm happened, like in whatever that was, 2021 or something. You know, you can just press of a button, literally, do if the energy is needed. And so this balancing of the grid is a good thing. And, you know, this energy is going to be wasted anyways. And so, the combination of this use of renewable energies as well as buying up this excess energy, I mean, it's a good thing. It's a net good. It pushes forward the renewable energy sector as well, because with these Bitcoin miners buying up all this energy from these energy companies, they can then reinvest it into renewable research and production, possibly lowering the cost of renewable energy infrastructure. I just see a net good out of this. Bitcoin's not going to burn us all alive. Like I said, it's just so intellectually dishonest to just bash Bitcoin energy usage when the gold mining industry produces lots of waste, of greenhouse gases, all that stuff. The banking industry, game systems use tons of energy, all that stuff that is never mentioned in stories that are bashing Bitcoin about its energy use. Oh, man. But what are you going to do? That's mainstream media for you, or just media in general. And how powerful that is just incredible, because, it's just, so many people don't ever look deeper into something. They just read a headline or even an article, and that's their opinion. That's it. Bitcoin uses tons of energy. It's bad. That's it. That's their opinion. They read one article with 3 paragraphs in it, and that's the truth right there, baby. No further research is done. No other sources are looked at, but that's how a lot of people formulate their opinions, unfortunately. And, why this whole Bitcoin energy thing is still a thing. The facts are just completely ignored. And, a lot of people still just think, doesn't Bitcoin use a lot of energy? It's bad, isn't it? How much research have you done? Oh, I read one article, 5 minutes. That's how much I know about Bitcoin energy use, and that's my opinion. Do your research, folks. It takes a lot of time and gathering information from multiple different sources to really even start to get the truth at all. I feel like so many people just don't do that. All right, let's move on to the next story. Some Ethereum stuff here. And this is something that is kind of concerning, honestly. And I think Ethereum's cool. It's a great project. It does more than Bitcoin. However, things like this can happen. It says your major MEV event wipes out $25 million. How this affects Ethereum validators and Ethereum holders. Kind of concerning. MEV stands for maximum extractable value, which is referring to in every block in Ethereum, whenever a block is added to the blockchain, there is value to be extracted from all the transactions that are occurring in that block. And such as arbitrage opportunities, front running, flash bots. It's these things that you can just extract value from in each block of Ethereum. And there are bots that exploit this. And it happens all the time, and it's nothing that's not allowed. It's somewhat frowned upon. Front running is like a bot putting in a trade before an actual human and gaining profit off of it. And so it's like, it's frowned upon. But it's just how the system works. However, what happened here was that an actual validator did this exploit. So it would be like the equivalent of a Bitcoin miner submitting false transactions to the network and it going through, which is of extreme concern, which has never happened on Bitcoin, by the way. However, because it is so ridiculously decentralized, and I don't even see that ever being able to happen. And because it operates on a different consensus mechanism than Ethereum does. Ethereum uses what's called proof of stake. Bitcoin is proof of work. I've talked about this in my How Bitcoin Works video I released a couple days ago. So if you want to learn more about that proof of work stuff, go on over there. Proof of work is just the idea, basic rundown here, of the miners that are doing all the number guessing in Bitcoin. They're putting in work, actual work, to earn the right to add a block to the blockchain and earn the Bitcoin reward. How proof of stake works is instead of having all these computers guessing all these numbers to earn the right to add a block to the network and get the reward, it's just based on your stake in the network, how much money that you have locked up, as opposed to how many computers you have. It's just a different way of earning the right to add a block to the blockchain. Like I said, it's not the computers, it's just your stake, getting it locked up. Ethereum actually used to use the same proof of work as Bitcoin. This changed last year over to proof of stake, which they did it for energy savings and all that nonsense. But I mean, look at this. It can be exploited. This was a legitimate validator that joined the network legitimately, staked, because you have to stake a minimum of 32 Ethereum in order to become a validator and compete to earn the right to add a block to the blockchain. So this person joined the network legitimately, put up 32 Ethereum, which is worth about $60,000. Lost that $60,000, but made $25 million by, this is what they did. A malicious actor pulled together MEV bots, which is that maximum extractable value bots that, like I said, in each block there's value to be extracted, and there's bots that do this, which is frowned upon, by the way, but it happens. And replaced transactions. A malicious actor pulled together MEV bots and replaced transactions picked by bots with malicious ones, resulting in a theft of $25 million. The MEV bots that used the strategy to increase their profitability suffered a significant loss with the actions of the exploiter. It's just, and a lot of people are saying stealing stolen funds, what does this mean? Because like I said, the MEV bots are viewed as, it's frowned upon. And so it's like, they're saying that the bad actor stole stolen money. So is it really a crime? That's what they're saying. A lot of people are saying, a thief robbing a thief is basically what happened here. And, but yeah, like I said, this is like very concerning. This happened a couple days ago, because it's a legitimate validator on the Ethereum network. It's equivalent to a miner in the Bitcoin network. They are the core, they are the backbone of the network. And whenever false transactions can be submitted, malicious transactions can be submitted and go through, that's not good. That's very bad. The network reached consensus that this was a legitimate transaction and allowed it to go through. That's literally like the same thing as a Bitcoin miner saying, like, if Bob submitted a transaction to send 1 Bitcoin to Sally and submitted that transaction to the network, the miner, this is the equivalent of this, would change that to Bob sending that 1 Bitcoin directly to the miner. So just, and that going through and the network reaching consensus. This happens probably on a daily basis within Bitcoin. However, the network is so absurdly decentralized and vast that it just gets rejected. Like I mentioned in my last video, you would have to amass more than 51% of the mining power in Bitcoin, which is in theory at this point. You would need billions of dollars in computing equipment, millions, tens of millions of dollars in energy use, space, just by doing that, by taking over the network like that, you would devalue the very thing that you are trying to acquire. But yeah, so this is not good. It says, how does the MEV attack affect the Ethereum community and holders? The MEV attack has now raised questions on the honesty or maliciousness of validators. While there is an honest validator specification in the Bellatrix upgrade on Ethereum, there is no centralized process and no KYC for validators. That's the whole point of a blockchain, by the way. There should be no KYC, which is know your customer. Basically just looking into the identity. You don't need any of that for doing anything on Ethereum, which is the whole point of it. Yeah. So this has posed as one of the challenges of designing a trustless, decentralized protocol where malicious actors don't gain access to validators and corrupt a blockchain. Yeah. This doesn't happen on Bitcoin because it is so, like I mentioned, way more decentralized than Ethereum. And, you know, this could technically happen on other cryptos. Have yet to see it happen on another. I mean, it does happen on smaller ones. 51% attacks is what they're called. But yeah, so this guy made out with $25 million, losing 60,000. That's a pretty dang good deal there. It's just the incentives aren't in place. You know, you get penalized for not being a good validator on Ethereum. However, whenever you make 25 million and lose your stake of 60,000, the incentives aren't really there. Like I said, I think Ethereum's a great project. I think it's really interesting how they're experimenting with this new technology in different ways other than how Bitcoin is literally just intended to be digital gold. That's all. On Ethereum, you can do all sorts of different stuff. You know, they have exchanges, decentralized exchanges. They have, you know, DeFi stuff, staking, all this other stuff that you can do. NFTs, which actually just recently, NFTs, there's some NFTs on Bitcoin now, which is this story right here leads me perfectly into the next story. Luxury brands Bugatti and Asprey. That's not a very good name. Asprey. Asprey. Asprey, you can interpret that how you wish, announced Bitcoin inscriptions collection, which are Bitcoin NFTs, essentially. And they look like really luxurious eggs, if you're not looking at the screen. They're actually pretty cool looking. Let's see here. According to the announcements by Bugatti, the Asprey Bugatti egg collection will be the first ever collection by two luxury brands using a state-of-the-art technique of inscribing digital content on the Bitcoin blockchain, ensuring the artwork will last indefinitely. Yeah, so this is like I said, just a brand new thing. Literally within the past like month or two, NFTs on Bitcoin, and they're called inscriptions. Yeah, so Bugatti is doing this. That's a big deal. I'm sure these will sell for ridiculous amounts of money, probably $10,000 a piece, like even 50, 100,000, and people will buy them. That's the thing with NFTs. Real quick on NFTs, just to clarify what the heck those are. I could make an entire video on that. NFT stands for non-fungible token. Fungible meaning how similar one unit of something is to another. So like a dollar bill is highly fungible. $1 and another dollar bill are going to be the same thing. It doesn't matter which one I give you. They will have the same value or worthlessness these days as the other. So it doesn't matter which one you get. That's like Bitcoin is highly fungible. It's just all the same. You know, no matter if I send you one Bitcoin from here or there, it's just the same. Non-fungible tokens are just something that they're not the same. They're not similar. So, you know, it's like a piece of art. You know, the Mona Lisa is going to be much different than, you know, something a fifth grader painted this past weekend. You know, it's just, they're not the same. They're not fungible at all. And it's the same as like a deed to a house, a title to a car. none of them will be the same. They are non-fungible. You can't exchange one for the other equal value. I mean, you could if you found a car of equal, whatever. You know what I mean? They're just not the same. Maybe the value would be the same, but it's not going to be the same thing that it's tied to. You get what I mean? So non-fungible tokens are just digital versions of this on a decentralized blockchain. And the most popular, you could use NFTs for transferring deeds or titles to cars. That hasn't been used yet. But the biggest use case right now is just art. You can tie media to these non-fungible tokens, which makes them like collectibles. You know, we like to see stuff and pictures of things, and you know, you can collect these eggs that you can prove are authentic. That's the thing with NFTs too. You can look at the blockchain and prove that this is an authentic one, because there's a lot of people all the time try to copy NFT projects and scam people because people don't check if they're original NFTs. I myself, that's happened to. I lost a couple $100 because I bought a phony NFT because I didn't look at the blockchain and verify that it was an original. Luckily, it was just a few $100. It sucked. It was horrible. But, you know, no fun. But the blockchain enables you to authenticate if it is original or not. It's like a certificate of authenticity with a piece of art. There's a lot of fake art out there. It's more difficult to prove the authenticity of a piece of art than it is an NFT, because anybody can view the blockchain. It's public. It's free. You don't need to get a certificate. You can literally just look up the origin of an NFT and see that it is an original. So that's a huge. I thought NFTs were silly at first. It's like, what are these stupid pictures selling for all this money? And it's just like the art world, except they're not physical. You know, the art, of course, it's subjective, but I mean, some stuff just looks so stupid, and it sells for millions, and it's just ridiculous. But I mean, hey, if someone's willing to pay that, let them buy it. Like, but it's the same thing, literally the exact same thing. You know, NFTs are selling for millions of dollars. And people may think they're stupid, they're silly. It's a monkey picture that sold for $3 million, but it's one of 10,000. You know, it's an original. You know, it's the same thing as in the art world. And so that's kind of just a brief rundown of what NFTs are. It's basically digital ownership of something that isn't the same as another thing. It's a unique item that you can own and prove ownership of, and prove that it's an authentic one, very simple and easily. And collect. They're cool. They're fun. NFTs are fun. They're cool. I think they have definitely a use case and will be here to stay. So yeah, Bugatti and Asprey to announce to release NFTs on Bitcoin, which is a very new thing. It's just the past couple of months. All right, next story here. What do we got for you? What's this say? How inscriptions impact... Oh, this is the same. Tying into that last story. How inscriptions or Bitcoin NFTs impact Bitcoin block space. So this is kind of a concern within the Bitcoin community, is that these Bitcoin NFTs will be taking up block space. So in, you know, the blockchain has blocks added to blocks of transactions. It's literally a chain of blocks. Just think of it, literally a chain of blocks, which each block is linked to the previous. I talk about this in my How Bitcoin Works video. But in those blocks are just transactions, different transactions. Bill sent Sally this, Bob sent Jim that. You know, that's all that's in those blocks. Now with these Bitcoin NFTs, there's a concern that they will take up a lot of block space and cause fees to rise, which I do see happening. However, it hasn't happened yet. But they are taking up quite a bit of block space. This one says it's about 50% of block space. And if there's not a lot of block space, you'll have to pay more to get your transaction through, because there's a higher competition for block space. That's how it works. They're saying that Bitcoin NFTs could do this. And it's showing that they are using quite a bit of block space, but the transaction fees right now are not too bad. I see that happening. It's not it's not like, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's over because, Bitcoin NFTs are using too much block space. No, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's just, there are second layer solutions like the Lightning Network on Bitcoin. It's a layer 2, so it's built on top of Bitcoin where transactions happen instantly and are literally like cents to send. And then so what happens is, like, on this layer 2, you do a bunch of transactions, and then the net outcome of that transaction is submitted as one transaction to the original Bitcoin network. So that's how layer 2s work. So you can do 100 transactions on the Lightning Network for cents, as opposed to if you did that on Bitcoin, it would cost a lot more. It would be slower. But on this layer 2, it's a lot faster, costs a lot less. So you can do a lot of transactions and then just submit that one batch transaction to the Bitcoin network, which is the idea of layer 2 scaling solutions, which is actually already being implemented. The Lightning Network has grown significantly over the years. I don't know if you know the app Cash App. If anybody uses that, you can send Lightning payments on there already. That's a huge app. And so the Lightning Network is even growing rapidly and being used in the real world by people to reduce the cost of their Bitcoin transactions and increase the speed of them, and it unclogs the first layer Bitcoin network. So it's great to see that too. The Lightning Network, really cool. I should maybe do a video on that because it's super interesting. All right, next story here. Ralph Lauren, a massive company that a lot of people know about, partners with BitPay to accept Bitcoin payments at a new Miami store. This literally happened this past week. I mean, it's happening. The adoption of Bitcoin in real world where you can actually spend it on real world things, there's a lot. And here is Ralph Lauren, massive, huge exposure for Bitcoin. You can literally spend your Bitcoin to buy clothes at Ralph Lauren in Miami. And Florida has been very accepting of Bitcoin as well, in addition to Texas. The biggest Bitcoin conference is held there every year. Here it says, famous American fashion brand Ralph Lauren has partnered with BitPay to accept Bitcoin payments at its Miami Design District. This will be the first retail store of the brand to accept Bitcoin payments. Customers can pay for all of the brand's distinctive styles directly from their preferred wallets. Yeah. Refunds will also be provided in the same cryptocurrency used for purchase. So, just the integration of Bitcoin is happening. People may think that, it's just, where's, Bitcoin, it's just dead and all this stuff. That's not true. It's being integrated. I mean, where we are today relative to where we were in 2017, 2018 is vastly different. The mining has exploded. The mining industry has exploded. The ability for you to actually spend your Bitcoin on real world things has increased significantly. The awareness of Bitcoin, it's legal tender in a country. You can buy stuff with it. It's being integrated at a high rate. These past couple years have thrown a wrench in things. The thing that happened in 2020, it's been intense. But where we are and how Bitcoin is still Bitcoining is, I think it's unstoppable at this point. Even prices are low right now, air quotes, $28,000. It is holding its own, and it is still Bitcoining, hasn't died. Like a lot of mainstream media outlets say, Bitcoin's dead, it's over, it's done. Nope, still here, still standing. With every day that passes, Bitcoin gets stronger. Yeah, Miami's pretty cool. It's very accepting of Bitcoin. It says here the city has been at the forefront of Bitcoin adoption with the big Bitcoin conference there at Miami Beach. It's coming there this year, 2023 again. One of the best cities for Bitcoin enthusiasts. Citing the industry events that take place there and the daily usage options for Bitcoin, which Ralph Lauren now contributes to. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Apparently 85 merchants were onboarded to accept Bitcoin payments back in 2022. I'm sure we'll see another group of them doing it this year as well. They want that real money. You know, it's a risk not to have any Bitcoin. Like I say, not financial advice. You make your own financial decisions. None of my videos are, but it's a risk not to have it. And Ralph Lauren wants some. You know, may as well look around. The US dollar is going down. Bye-bye. Alrighty. Next story here. Like this. This is a real world use case for Bitcoin. It's incredible to see. Moon Mortgage launches its Bitcoin mortgage product, allowing investors to use their Bitcoin as collateral. That's wild. You can literally put your Bitcoin up and acquire a secured loan from this place called Moon Mortgage. Lending platform Moon Mortgage has launched its core mortgage product that allows investors to use their Bitcoin as additional collateral to secure funding for real estate purchases. Mortgage product has been designed to work similarly to traditional mortgages, with digital assets like Bitcoin serving as collateral, and is available to house buyers in Florida, Texas, and Colorado, with plans to expand to investors in most states across the U.S. for investment properties. The minimum loan amount for the mortgage product is $1 million. Yeah, it is just, like I said, it is being integrated into traditional systems like acquiring a mortgage. You can literally do it now. You can use your Bitcoin to get a mortgage for a house. Talk about a real world use case right there, folks. And the thing about that as well is that you don't pay taxes whenever you acquire a loan in this fashion, because loans are not considered, they're not taxable income, and you're not selling your Bitcoin. So you can get this tax-free money, buy a house, whatever the tax implications are there, but instead of selling your Bitcoin and having to pay taxes on it, you can acquire a loan in this fashion. And you know, a lot of people, this is how our system works. You can put up assets as collateral and get tax-free money. And people get all mad at, hey, the rich don't pay taxes, da-da-da. They just do what the system lets them do a lot of the times. I'm not saying there aren't rich people that just blatantly don't pay taxes, but this is how our system works, folks. If you're a rich person, you have a lot of assets, you can put up a lot of your assets and get a lot of tax-free money. A lot of people don't know that the system works like that, and they get mad because, you know, mainstream media, that's what they do. Rich people, burn them alive. They're the worst thing in the world. And I'm not saying all rich people are good. There are some bad rich people. There are bad poor people. You know, it's just do a little more research. Maybe you'll find some stuff out. Imagine that. Alrighty. Let's move to the next story, but crazy, awesome, sweet. That's just like, that is real world adoption right there, folks. That's huge. Getting a mortgage with Bitcoin as collateral? They wouldn't be doing that if they thought Bitcoin was trash, and they're not doing it with any other crypto. And I'm not saying other cryptos are trash. There are a lot of trash ones out there. However, they see Bitcoin is, they know it's real money. It's the most decentralized, most secure. It's there's a reason why they're doing Bitcoin. All right, next story here. Got some Cardano stuff here for you. Cardano's a great project. Ethereum's a great project. You know, and I think it's one of the more interesting ones. It is a kind of more science research based That's what I really like about them, is that their whole thing is like peer-reviewed scientific research into this blockchain technology stuff. There's a lot of people working on Cardano. It's one of the most heavily developed blockchains, and the whole peer review thing is something that works in the science, in the world of science. You know, you do research on something, you write a paper about it, you publish your research, and everyone else can kind of bounce ideas off of each other, and the whole industry grows as a whole. Everybody learns, and it becomes a better and better, more advanced. I mean, look at, it's incredible. Like the medicine today and all the science, the knowledge is just incredible. And that's because of people doing research, releasing their findings, bouncing ideas off of each other, stimulating each other to get ideas going that they wouldn't have previously thought about. You know, that's Cardano's whole thing, is they take a scientific approach to it, a peer-reviewed scientific approach to it. Really interesting project for sure. And yeah, so a lot of stuff is happening. They constantly release updates, and this article is going into how it could be a top gaming blockchain. I think gaming is going to be a pretty big thing for adoption in the future of blockchain. And this update apparently allows users to play games on Cardano without having to bridge their tokens to other networks. Apparently you had to do that before. Now you don't. You can just stay on Cardano, use your ADA, which is the cryptocurrency of Cardano, ADA. Yeah, apparently it's a big deal. Let's see here. Top video gaming chain. They've been making a lot of partnerships with companies. It is worth mentioning that both Milka Media and Pema Studios were funded through the Cardano Treasury. Yeah, so they just, like I said, constantly release updates, and it's apparently more decentralized than Ethereum, that stuff. I've done a little bit of research into that. They seem pretty equal, I'll be completely honest. And, you know, I see a world where it's an interoperable world. It's not like Cardano is better than Ethereum, Ethereum is better than Cardano, even though maybe I have my opinions there. But you know, I see a world where they're just interoperating. Why can't that happen? Why does one have to crush the other? You know, maybe if it's a trash blockchain, sure, crush it. You know, like Solana. I don't know if anybody's into Solana. It is a trash blockchain. It has stopped working, like, I think it was 12 times last year. It just stopped processing transactions. And that is the antithesis of what a blockchain is. It is incredible to me how anybody is still buying Solana. It just blows my mind how it's even still a top 20 crypto, because it literally stopped working like 12 times. They had to restart the blockchain. Let's call it a database. That's not a blockchain. You can't restart a blockchain. Or you can't halt, it shouldn't stop working. It's supposed to be 24/7 uptime. That's the whole point of a block. It's just, but that just goes to show me that a lot of people really don't care about decentralization. They just want the money. Solana is trash. I'm sorry if that hurts anybody's feelings. That's just the facts. If a blockchain's not trash, I'll say it. Even if, you know, if I'm invested in it. You know, there have been some things over the years that have turned out to be trash that I thought were good. You know, Cardano has, over the years, really impressed and delivers. It works, and they deliver their updates typically pretty well on time, because developers are pretty well known for not delivering on time, and I get it. There's so much into doing this stuff, you know. Anyways, yeah, apparently a lot of whales are buying Cardano. over the past month, $57 million in Cardano was bought. Cardano whales holding 1 million to 10 million. ADA have bought roughly $57 million worth of tokens. I think it's going to be a large player in the decentralized future, and as well as other chains like Polkadot's pretty. I think that's a great blockchain. Ethereum's great, but Solana's trash. Tron is trash. So there are some great ones out there. There's some not good ones. Cardano. Apparently, gaming is good on Cardano, and they are securing partnerships and interesting. Check it out. That is the Cardano news. I think we'll see quite a large price increase in the future, as well as with every crypto. Even the trash ones, Solana, will see a large price increase. It's just, I think the ones that actually have real world use and work, you would think would have a higher increase, but man, I mean, it's just like, here's the story I was gonna end with. I'll get to it. Never mind. This one is Bitcoin in the banking crisis. Can decentralization counter the traditional economy's failures? Yes, it can, because Bitcoin neutralizes money. Money is not neutral, and it needs to be neutral. It's just, it says here, big name banks and financial institutions still share a confounded ideology that they are too large and interconnected to national economies to fail. And should they fail, governments will bail them out. Taxpayers will have to pay for it. You know how the story goes. Oh, here it says Bitcoin shining as traditional finance fails. I mean, yeah, you see what's happened with the price. It's increased 70% this year so far, Bitcoin. And the banking thing has also been happening. Coincidence? I would say no, because Bitcoin is an alternative to all this garbage out there, and the price is reflecting that. And I think it will continue to do so as banks continue to fail and our financial system continues to crumble. Sorry to tell you folks, but I don't see anything getting any better anytime soon. The system is so broken. It is literally, I don't even know how anything is still functioning. It's because, they just print money. That's why anything is still functioning, is because the absurd amount of money that's been printed, devaluing your currency and all those other, they're pocketing it too. It says here, in fact, the leading cryptocurrency was created for incidents like a banking crisis. This is exactly what Bitcoin was designed for. Bitcoin would not exist if we could trust our financial institutions, our governments. It wouldn't exist. Why would we need it? No one, but you can't trust them. Time and time again. Like I've said in my previous videos, trusting the government or trusting your bank is literally like having a neighbor that throws rocks at your house, calls your wife names, tears up your lawn, throws eggs at your house, and you still have him over for dinner. And give him a key to your house. Here, I trust you, yep. Next day, throws a bunch of rock, calls your wife names. Hey, how you doing, Jimmy? Yeah, your wife, says something terrible. Oh, yeah, thanks, That is literally what it's like to still trust your government or banks, because they continuously, it's not just one time, it's just been constant. Just continue to screw everybody. And people still I don't understand how you could possibly still have faith in your government or your bank. Bitcoin is hope and is freedom and provides an alternative to all this nonsense. says here, trust is the driver of traditional banking and finance. We trust our deposits to financial institutions to maintain and invest them smartly, which doesn't happen at all. At all. Does not happen. They do not invest them smartly. What do you call 2008? What do you call what's happening right now? This is all because of risky investments made, greed, lies, deception, all that. Thankfully, we have Bitcoin. A world without Bitcoin is a hopeless world in my eyes. Yep. It's a beautiful thing, Bitcoin. And I totally believe that it will play a very large role in the future of finance and providing that alternative. Separating money from state, neutralizing money is so desperately, desperately needed. And Bitcoin is there to save the day. All right, I had some more stories, but this video is dragging on. This one just says Bitcoin untouchable amid regulatory pressures. Yeah, it is. It is untouchable. The resilience of Bitcoin is incredible. I'm going to end this on a funny note. Dogecoin surges 20% as Doge replaces bird logo on Twitter. Elon is such a troll. It's hilarious. He literally changed the Twitter logo to Dogecoin logo, and the price of Dogecoin pumped. This is the only thing that moves Dogecoin's price. Literally is Elon Musk. Literally. And he's actually in a very large lawsuit right now, over $250 billion for manipulating Dogecoin price and all that stuff. So he literally just, even in a lawsuit for Dogecoin, he changes the Twitter logo to Doge. He is such a troll. It's hilarious. If I was that rich, I already do goofy, funny stuff. But if I was that rich, I would be doing the funniest, goofiest stuff. Oh my Lord. Yeah, so he is just such a troll. It's hilarious. Go Elon. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so Twitter logo now, Dogecoin logo. All right, folks, that does it. I made this video way too long. But hey, it happens. I'll make another one hopefully here soon. Let's take a look at the prices. Bitcoin sitting at $4 million. Oh my God, we're all rich. Just kidding. Bitcoin is at about 28,000. Ethereum at $1,900. USD coin, 99.95 cents. Better buy now, folks. It's going to $1. It's a stable coin. It's always at $1. I'm just kidding. Cardano, almost 40 cents. XRP, 50 cents. Yeah. Looking like a Christmas tree. Stuff's up 1%, down 1%. It's just kind of going sideways. I don't believe for long, though. I think the massive price increases are soon to come. We'll see, though. You never know. This world is just crazy. Who knows? Maybe that $1 million Bitcoin thing will come true. I've read that people think that would be really bad, actually. It would be. It would be bad because the world would be in absolute turmoil. Even though Bitcoin's $1 million, it would cost $100 for a gallon of milk. And the entire financial system would collapse, and it would probably be Mad Max everywhere. All right, that does it for today, folks. I deeply appreciate every single one of you for tuning in to Saved by the Code today. I hope you all enjoyed that little dose of crypto craziness. I hope you're all doing all right out there. Subscribe, like the video, comment down below. Tell me you hate it, tell me you love it, tell me you made a pie. Whatever you want to say, I want to hear it. All right, that does it. Until next time, I bid you farewell on your cryptocurrency journey.